Guys, and welcome to another episode of Woke by Accident podcast, a weekly chat about socially conscious topics impacting the culture. Welcome. I am Jen, and we are with Sambaza, host and creator of the Sambaza podcast, where culture, conversation, and connection meet. He brings a sharp insight, humor, global perspective, and always ready to dig in and keep it real. Sambaza has been a featured speaker at the Afros Audio Podcast Festival for the last few years and was a presenter or participant at the 2025 PodFest. Welcome, Sambaza.
Hey Jen, what's up? How you doing today?
Good, good. Welcome.
All right, it's a beautiful day, beautiful time. How's the week been?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm getting in the holiday spirit of it all. With my company, we get a holiday break, so we're getting really close to the holiday break, and yeah, I'm looking forward to getting some content and some business work, side hustle business work done during that week and some change. Also, it's literally on countdown to winter break, so I'm really excited about that.
I haven't asked. How's your current situation with whatnot and the other stuff that you have going on? Because I know you've been pushing a lot of merch out there over the last
I
couple.
am definitely trying to ramp up. There are certain goals that we have in the reseller world, especially on specifically on whatnot. Everyone that initially comes in, you try to reach your 1,000 sales.
Mhm.
Okay. And I'm really close. I'm literally 18 away from making my 1K. And then after that, you get instant payout. So it's kind of like an initial goal. And but it's kind of like a badge of honor in a way. So I'm to hit it in 3 years. I mean, I could have did it sooner. And doing it part time too. Some people do this all day long, and it's their main thing. So definitely, um, excited about that, which is tied to the side business and content and ambassador opportunities, some branding and stuff like that.
Okay, so we're looking at something that's going to happen pretty soon. So, is it going to be part of your jar? Remember that jar that we're working on? That we're going to
Oh,
show.
hopefully. Yeah, the goal is to make it for December for sure. So,
Oh,
yeah.
all right. So for me, I mean, the week has been okay. Things have just been going up and down. Hoping that my team did not go to the playoffs. LSU, I'm a great supporter of LSU, but yeah,
I see you repping that.
hey, you got to rep LSU. Well, other than that, it's just close of the year
Hmm.
parties. Uh, getting ready. We got a free Christmas tree. I don't know if this is very weird, but somebody just offered us a free Christmas tree.
Hmm.
Something with Home Depot. They made a wrong purchase, and then they decided to give it away. They were going to throw them away, so they decided to take them and feed their goats. So then somehow we found a free Christmas tree, and we have it now. We're going to put it up in the house in a couple of days. So I mean,
Okay.
that's one of the Christmas miracles that I can say we had. Yeah, that's been what's going on so far, and
That's,
can't wait for the start of the year.
and a lot of good stuff with the kids and all that in their
Mhm.
activities.
Oh man, there were concerts yesterday. So my it was weird. So my son goes to swim, so he swims, and
Hmm.
then we go to the concert. They had a concert at the high school. So he
Hmm.
gets there. Soon as he's done, he had to go. The teacher told him, "Hey, the band lead, the band director told him, no, 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 you got to come in and play." So he got to do his Christmas concert with his swim uniform, of course. Not
Oh
the
no!
yeah. Everybody was dressed up, all that. You know the way they dress up.
Oh, but he was okay. I
Him, of
didn't
course.
know he played the alto sax.
He did. He does. He does.
That's cool.
He's just a
Okay, I
pretty.
saw your post about that. And I was like,
Yeah,
I played the saxophone. Okay,
so he's enjoying himself and
good.
having fun. Yeah. So shout outs to the guys who are on YouTube, TikTok. We're live. Thank you so much for showing up, you guys. I really appreciate you coming through. Spending some time with us while we are doing this show. You could have been somewhere else, but you chose to be with us, and we really appreciate that. People who are on Clubhouse and East African Excellence and Facebook, and here we are with Jen. So let's start with the topic of the day, that is the positive affirmations. Here's my affirmation of the day. And my affirmation of the day says, I am an architect of my life. I design its structure. Do you like me to repeat it again?
Sure.
It says, I am an architect of my life. I design its structure.
Okay. We received that. Thank you for sharing. And yeah, so before you share the proverb, just a pre-introduction, welcome into the additional platforms that you have set up for us. Welcome in everyone. As we approach the end of the year, just the wheels are turning on these last few conversations that we'll have. And so this kind of came up, evaluating things that we want to renew, or do we allow it to expire? So, yeah, that's kind of nuts and bolts of where we will be getting into this conversation.
Oh, I appreciate that. I think this is going to be a great conversation. I'm really loving it. Um, Speaks a lot about our lives and what we have to do, and kind of do the resets and stuff like that. Now,
For sure.
to our proverb from Africa. I'm taking a break. I'm not traveling to Africa or moving around. So this time I have a proverb which I collected, and it says, only a fool tests the depth of a river with both feet. Only a fool tests the depth of a river with both feet. Now,
Okay.
Jen, I know you received that proverb, but what do you, what's your idea of its interpretation?
Yeah, for sure. I think you should look before you leap, so to speak. Put one, yeah, I mean, be mindful and intentional about your actions. Otherwise you could risk making a terrible mistake. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
I took it as always have a backup plan.
Mhm.
Don't go in, head first on everything and not have a backup plan. Always look at what if, SWOT analysis of what is going on with anything that you're doing. What if it does not work? What am I going to do? So don't test a river with both feet, because it could be deep and you just get swallowed in by the water. So just one foot, test it. You see, you got leverage on the other one. Even though
Mhm.
as old as we are, that leverage is kind of harder. So you might need to hold onto something else. But
For
the
sure.
point is, the point is, yeah, just try with one leg and then see how it goes. Then try it with the other one, and then that's how you cross a river. And
Or have a plan, do some research before you even get out there. Okay, let me
exactly.
get the, analytics of what the depth is and all this stuff. So,
Awesome, awesome. Yes.
okay, so let's get into our introduction of the topic fully. So as the year wraps up, so many of us are prompted to renew everything from streaming services, gym memberships, which look, I need to be at the gym, to annual taxes and professional licenses. All these things are up for renewal. But what if we apply the same scrutiny and intention to personal relationships in our life? So, today we'll discuss and explore how evaluating the things that we choose to renew or allow to expire can lead to a healthier start for the new year. So,
Okay. Question: how long have you been at the gym?
huh?
Mhm. Uh-huh. Well, what are the signals? Like, for example, with the gym, I know I threw out that question, and with the gym membership that you have, what what's when is it? What are the signals that it's time to renew or end a relationship, commitment or contract? Now, so many things you've thrown in: relationship, commitment, and contract. Um, Relationship, we'll talk about relationship in terms of your gym membership, your relationship with the gym membership. When do you feel like it's time to either renew or time to let go?
Right. I mean, speaking of health, going to your, you know, bi-monthly annual checkups with your doctor should, let you know where you stand health wise and what you need to work on.
Mhm.
So, I definitely need to renew a gym membership. I had, let one expire. And so think, oh, I could just do X, Y, and Z. And then the X, Y, and Z didn't come to be. So, you kind of have to do these and you know, self work, analyzation, whatever, to determine, okay, this what I'm doing is not working. So we need to make a change. You know what I mean? And so we'll get into a couple of frameworks
Mhm.
that we can apply, which I was happy to come across. But yeah.
But for me, I would look at it as you're going along. Like, say you have a 1 year gym membership, right?
Mm-hmm.
You keep going, and with health, I always say it's a. I'm going to use health as an example. It's always an up and down, up and down. Even a relationship, it's always up and down, up and down. It's never going to be steady. But if it's going to end at the end of the year, you look at have to do like a halfway evaluation, like a biannual evaluation. To me, that's what I think you should do. And then look and see, is it worth it, or is it doing, what can I change? What works for me? Then at the 6 mark point, you can change it a little bit and see if this works till the end. Now, when
Mm-hmm.
you get to the end, you kind of have this idea of, okay, what did I start off with and what did I end with? Can I get a middle between somewhere in the middle? Can I get a middle ground? Or say if I can make 7 days a week to the gym, I'll probably
Mm-hmm.
do 5 days a week, and maybe 3 days a week will work fine. Maybe go in the mornings, things like those. You do some evaluation of that, and I think that's when we have to think about the things we get into with the relationships and stuff like that. I don't know, maybe even I wonder if they. Well, this is going to be controversial, but I would think maybe when they do marriage, they probably give it a 5 year stance and see how it works. Then after 5 years, you kind of renew your vows and see, hey, are we good to go, or we kind of continue? But anyway, that's here nor there.
I
Um,
mean, and you say relationships with man and woman, or romantic relationships, but then we can just be friendships, or just
oh yeah,
professional, maybe a brand deal or something like that. I know I had one, and it never really had a expiration date, so I don't even know if it's still going on
mhm.
anymore. I don't think I ever made any money from it, but there's different types of relationship commitments that you kind of need to determine. Okay, you know where you stand, or you need to set the boundary, so.
Gotta get that 50-50. You got to get the 50 coming in and the 50 going, so you get
Mm,
a 50-50 type of relationship. I think this also happens with the contracts. When you have
mhm,
contracts and you have these subscriptions, like for example, you get a credit card. It tells you, hey, with this credit card you get so much points, you'll be able to get maybe free access to lounges if you're traveling. Then you look
mhm,
at yourself, like for example, I travel maybe 3 or 4 times a year, travel internationally 1 time a year, and then I'll evaluate that at the end of the year. I'll say, you know what, this card doesn't benefit me. Maybe I don't need to keep it. I need to start use another card. Maybe it'll give me
right.
points. So those are the type of relationships that we're looking at, and having to also, you have to be intentional about what you're doing. Plus, you
Mhm,
also have to have an idea of, you can't hold on to it if it's not working.
it's true.
Don't take it too personally, right? Now, how do you tell the difference between something that serves you versus something that is simply feels familiar? Because that is one of the things that makes you kind of go along. You're like, oh well, you know what? I feel familiar with this thing. It works out, and this is human nature. It works out well for me, so I'm like, okay, you know what? If it works out, let's go on. You don't want
Right.
to get into that change where you're thrown out there. I experienced the same thing when I moved to a new gym. You get in there,
Mhm,
you're like, oh wow, like in Swahili we have this brand new thing. We say like a brand new chicken, hukumgeni. So when you bring in a new chicken to even a cow or an animal, you drop them off to a brand new location. They'll be confused about what they are. So anyway, we use chicken. So when you look at it like that, that fear of having to take off. And I remember that the lady we
mhm,
had, who was talking about a business you had for one of the ladies that sells stuff.
Yes, Miss Leslie.
Leslie, yeah. Remember, she
Hmm.
said the idea, the fear of having to come out and start on your own is really,
Hmm.
really daunting. And most people really fear that. Once you conquer that fear, I mean, that's really one of the best feelings that you can have ever have, rather than stay in
Hmm.
in a particular comfort zone. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And like that kind of goes into the next point here. How do you these auto renew situations? Do you want to put something on auto renew? I think you should. Like as we will get to these frameworks where you kind of do a cost benefit analysis and these other evaluations to determine, is it a win-win? Is it not, like you said, am I not, saving? Is it not, cost effective for my lifestyle and things like that? So
Can you auto renew a personal relationship?
I mean, you keep them, you keep the Facebook status, you keep them in the group chat. You don't Some people remove themselves from the group chat, so there's a way to break that auto renew situation for sure.
Oh, I found this new thing that they have, location sharing. It's
Like
like a
Snapchat.
phone. Not like the way you share location with your phone with somebody. Like you and I are friends, and we decide,
Hmm.
hey, you know what? Since we're cool, can I share your location with you?
Oh, like for safety reasons.
Nah, just for friendship. I'm your friend.
Well, some people I think utilize it for safety,
It's
like,
a Gen
oh,
Z. It's a Gen Z thing. Yeah,
but I mean, if you think about it, it could be for safety. Yeah, okay, I can see that.
I heard about it, and I was like, why would I start sharing my stuff and give somebody else my information like that? But uh, th- it's explained differently. But anyway, story for another day.
I mean, if you're trying to track somebody's moves, that's one thing. But if it's for literally legitimately like safety, like, hey, I'm, rolling alone, just letting you know where I am in case something happened. Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
when we talk about, so we said auto renew your friendships, gym memberships. Do we auto renew them, because those are the ones that are, I think, pertinent to our lives right now? And I mean, I would want to do it because if it expires, then I don't have the motivation to come back, because I know I'm paying for it. If I'm paying for it,
Right.
I will go back to it and work on it. And
Well, unless, like you said, you're switching up, to save more money or just a better change, more, amenities that suit you better, something like that. No, in my case, I ended up letting something or canceling because it's like, oh, we've got equipment at the house and I'm just going to save this money. And then I'm looking at this stuff at the house and I'm not doing what I need to be doing. And it's like, okay, so, and this is like, okay, I can still use what I have at home, but I need to have options, right? So yeah, I need to sign up for somebody's gym for
I think
sure.
familiarity is the other thing. When you get
Hmm.
familiar with something, the auto renew, actually, that's when the auto renew helps, because you
Yeah.
want to be familiar with it. You don't want to take off that feature, be it relationship, be it your personal life, be it your membership, other things. Because again, familiarity. Everything is so familiar. I'm
Hmm.
good with it. It's going to a flow. I think it's the distractions, and
Hmm.
I think I'm also a part of that group, because if I find something is going to cut off the way I'm going in a certain direction, it tends to bother me at some point, because I think right now, with the way I have my stuff planned out, like I know this is what I want on this particular days, these are the things that are going on. Once something starts getting off of the plan, I'm like, nah,
Hmm.
it's not getting there. It's not working. It's not working at all.
For sure.
Especially when you move keys. You ever read that book that says, "Who moved my cheese"?
Yes, I'm familiar. Yes,
Yeah,
that's cool
it makes people mad.
for
So,
sure.
now let me ask you this one. This one is where now it gets juicy. Are there friendships or associations that you have held on out of guilt or routine?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it kind of makes me think of, like we just said, the social media, these people you have on here as friends, and it's just like maybe this is somebody you went to grade school with or high school, and or maybe they're like a prior coworker or something like that. But are they really, friends, or someone you can call like if something's, like, I don't know. So I feel like some of those acquaintances don't need to exist, and they can just follow rather than actually be a friend, you know.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think you're right. When you want to get some of the friends, you can kind of evaluate that.
Mhm.
Uh, Especially when it comes to friendship, you have to really evaluate if it's a 50-50 relationship or it's one of those that you are struggling to keep it going. If you are, then yes, definitely. Um,
Yeah. I mean, I struggle with that one because, especially being, a content creator and wanting to monetize and be this public figure with having a podcast and wanting people to, come along and discover either the business or the podcast. So it's like, okay, you can follow, but you don't necessarily have to be personally connected to me, because it is a difference between following someone on social than actually being like connected.
yeah, I have,
Mhm.
yeah, I have that problem because you have to stay neutral in a lot of things, especially when it comes to friendships.
Mhm.
Sometimes friendships maybe people may be bickering over something, and then you try to stay in the middle of that and be like, you know what, you take care of your stuff, I take care of your stuff. You take care of your stuff. Whatever is going on between you two, you guys handle it. I'm going to be friends with both of you. A lot of it happens in podcasting as well. You're right. You always try to maintain these relationships. Some may be, you could say, maybe toxic. Some may be ones that you are just, they just don't fit you. Now,
Okay.
people say, hey, you know what? Just cut them off and run them off. But then, to me, my understanding is, I'll treat you respectfully. I may
Mhm.
not engage with you. You may come catch on later on that I'm not engaging with you because of some reason, but at least we're not getting into a situation where I'm gonna make you uncomfortable. Neither will you make me
Mhm.
uncomfortable. And I think that's kind of been my motto for this year, and I think I'll keep going on with it next year. It's worked
Mhm.
out fine this year. Man.
Yeah. I know that you kind of dealt with that quite a bit, and so yeah. I mean, what can you do? People, evolve and decide to go in different directions creatively and things like that. So yeah,
Not everybody loves you. Remember that
right.
they tolerate you. Some people love you for who you are. Some people tolerate you for who you are or what you provide for them. And other people just they just hate you and be like, you know what? Oh, I can't use that word. I'll leave it at that.
I mean, or they can just, watch from afar,
Right.
in the distance, and yeah.
And for me, I I'll say this. A lot of the when it comes to podcasting, and this is also with my friendships, if I don't gel with you and nothing works out, I will just step back,
Mhm.
allow you to be you. You know, I'm comfortable with myself the way I am. I'm not going to make it uncomfortable for you. If you don't want me, hey, but it's taken a while. It's taken a while to grow into it. I'll tell you that it is really
Mhm.
hard, especially with a content creator. You have this thing where you have to be a good guy, then you also have to be a bad guy, then you have to be in the middle. Now you have to play all those three roles, but not knowing where the balance is going to be. But at some point, when you're sure of yourself, I prefer the one where I just like, you know what, hey, if they don't like me in that space, I'm not going to come mess up your vibe. Hey,
All right.
you want me? I'll back off. So it's worked awesome.
Yeah. I
Had
mean,
a
I think it's just like a matter of respect. I mean, it's not necessarily good guy, bad guy, it's just being honest and authentic and real. So, yeah.
Now, is being authentic, which is where a question is being authentic, where you actually confront people, because that could be you could be authentic in the fact that your personality allows you or gives you grace to be able to confront people. I don't have that personality of I'll come in and tell you, no, you mess around with me, I'll let you go. And I'll be like, you know what?
Hmm.
Heartbeat, I'll cut you off.
I
And
mean,
or I'll just slowly leave it like that. It'll hurt
yeah.
me, but after a while, I just calm down, and then I just goes with the flow. And I can tell you that's a very, very happy feeling. Very, very happy feeling.
Well, I'm glad, but no, I mean, sometimes you may find a sense or wanting, and I know I've been in this situation where you feel like you want to stand up for yourself or make a point, and so you may have to ruffle some feathers, you know what I mean? Not necessarily wanting, seeking out this confrontation and going ham on somebody, but, I don't think there's something wrong with standing up for yourself and putting your foot down if you feel that you are being misunderstood or not being treated fairly and your point is not being heard, that
Hmm.
you should, feel comfortable in the space to stand up for yourself. And I know I've had to do that. And I don't like confrontation either. I think we kind of have similar personalities where, we're not here to rah rah, we're not here for that. But in some cases, you may just have to stand up for yourself and finally, push back a little. So
Yes, and I've had situations where yes, I've had to stand up for myself. Um, it is a choice.
it
I'd
is.
say I choose the choices of where I want to stand up for myself. Yeah, yeah. It's really amazing how, as a human being, you can live your life trying to confront these things,
Mhm.
and having these relationships. And like you said, you stand at a point where you evaluate it. Do you renew it? Do you auto renew it? Or you come and say, you know what, this doesn't work for me. Things are hard. It may be hard, but at that time you're like,
And I actually have an example of that. I don't know if you have. Oh, you know what? I might have changed that question. I think one of the questions is one that you're not renewing or an example of something. And actually, I used to record with, someone. I actually record with a lot of people. If you know, by accident, I, would have people reach out or I've just, made a connection here or there and would have people on and we have these conversations. I found it to be very fun. But there was one particular one that I did decide that, hey, I am not comfortable with what is being shared on this side of the table, if you
mm,
will. And so I, just kind of set a boundary that, this isn't working and, much love and, good luck or whatever, but this is, this is not working. And so, I feel like people should be comfortable enough in that space. And only you creatively had, situations and conversations with other creators. So it happens, we have a lot of topics about creators, and that's, one of the things. But yeah, I had to tell this brother that this ain't working, and, shout out to him and, wish him well, but it just wasn't working.
and I think it's the period at which you are going to leave each other, which
Mhm.
I think that's the hardest time, at the auto renewal and when it's expiring, making that decision. Um, and as I've grown older, I have had to make those decisions, and some decisions are not, they're not the best, but
Right.
have to be made. Um, I'm not a manager at work, but I manage the family estate and what have you. I have had to make decisions, whether they're right or wrong, I don't know. But for me, I feel that they're right because I was given that responsibility. And this is where you look at the same thing: relationships, especially family
Mhm.
relationships. How do you move in those spaces, because those are very, very, very tricky. Professional ones, oh, those are easy. You can just go ahead and move back and forth, and see where you lay. But another thing is also, in your profession, depending on what profession you are, you also have to be very careful
Mhm.
with um, uh, with the not you build bridges, you don't burn the bridges, because if you burn some of the bridges in your career, and there's some careers where you're in the same circle, you end up being in the same circle. I think it's the higher you go, you start now meeting people around your level. I think it kind of tiers, it kind of comes together, where now you meet a certain people on the range, and it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Now you run around the same circles. It's like
And you'll see them again.
Yeah, you see them again. It's
Yeah.
like, I'll give a
Mhm.
good example. People playing football. When you start playing football in high school, there's so many kids that play in high school. Plenty of kids that play in high school. Once you get to college, the number shrinks.
Mhm.
Then you get to the NFL, that number is shrinking. Now, imagine that those numbers and how they know each other. So those numbers keep, they become smaller. So you might do something to a player on one particular team. It carries over when you meet them again in another team. They may be in a different conference, but you're going to meet them again. Same thing with
Absolutely.
basketball, and
Yeah.
that's how you should look at it in life. Things that you do when you're here, you may get around, get away with it. But as you go up the ladder, be careful about the friendships that you make, because some decisions are really hard to make. To you'd have to, you know, you smile at somebody, but this man, if I turn around, he's going to knife me on the back. But something that you have to do. It's a relationship you have
I
to auto renew.
True, true. And why don't you greet the chats?
Oh yeah. Shout outs to Ed. Ed showed up all the time, showing up and says, "Peace, fam. I'm in the building. LOL." Hey Ed, thank you so much for showing up. And also Dominic did show up on. I saw him showing up on our TikTok live. I don't know if you're still there,
Oh,
but
okay.
thank you for showing up, Dominic. I know there are other people. I do appreciate you all showing up and hanging out with us all the way on YouTube, TikTok, Clubhouse, Facebook, wherever you are. Like I said all the time, you could be somewhere else hanging out, but you chose to stay with us, and we're really appreciative of that.
Absolutely. And just to reframe our conversation, we are talking about things that you want to either renew or let expire as we consider and go and prepare for the new year coming. So,
Man, yeah, what do you have to prepare for the new year?
so many things. I mean, so many things. But I think we're at the framework part. So I had found three examples of some framework pieces that you talked about evaluating. How do we
Mhm.
make this determination of what we're going to keep and what we're going to let expire? So there's three that we'll briefly share. So the first one is benefit cost framework or analysis. So, benefit questions, you'll ask these questions to make this determination. Do I feel supported, seen, respected after interactions? Do I grow? Do I laugh? Do I feel like more like myself around this person? I guess this is speaking of like relationships or
Mhm.
friendships.
Mhm.
Okay. And then the cost questions would be, do I feel drained? Do I feel anxious? Do I feel small? Do I feel unsafe after we talked? Am I constantly recovering from the words? Am I constantly, receiving criticism? So benefits and costs. Okay. And then the decision lens where if this were a paid membership, would I be enthusiastic about renewing? Would I renew with new boundaries or would I cancel and gently step back? So that's kind of the benefit cost analysis um, as it relates to this conversation.
Well, that benefit versus cost. Would you look at this with a contract, like a partnership contract, especially when you have one of these um, contracts you have, like say a 5 year contract or
Yeah.
2 year contract. Question: I just want to ask you, which one do you prefer? 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, or 5 year contract?
And you
One.
were like, for what exactly are you?
And no, 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 I'm talking about like sponsorships and stuff like that. We're looking at professionally.
Oh, I said, yeah. Like I have so many offers. you know, I just, I feel like everything's negotiable, right? So, I mean, I feel like 1 year is
12 months.
fair with
We
the option to
got one
renew or something like that.
1 year option to renew for
Hmm.
3 years, so you get it a 4 year contract.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Because the 1 year you're testing and seeing if it works out right. If it
Right.
works out right, then you're good to go, and then you can continue. But this is when you have leverage.
Results for
Sometimes
sure.
sometimes you want to snag that 5 year, because whether they like it or not, the contract is there. They may cut it off. When you cut it off, you're still going to pay you some money, but to, to bail you out. But at least
Mhm.
you have them for 5 years, and then you sneak them into that familiarity thing where they're used to you. They're like, you know what, Jen's gonna be around, and at least we're assured that she's gonna produce a podcast, and then you're like good to go from there. So they don't have to worry. They know that Jen is on this 5 year deal, and we're guaranteed that it's gonna be there.
That's a thought. That's a thought.
All right, let's look at this one for emotional energy. Emotional energy inventory framework. So this framework evaluates how much emotional energy a connection consumes versus restores potentially. The potentiality. Let me say potentiality. That one. Yeah. So before and after. 0 on a 1 to 10 scale. How do you feel before you see them, and how do you feel after? Calmer, the same, or worse? That's the potentiality. Pattern spotting. Over the last 3 to 5 interactions, has this relationship mostly energized you, been neutral, or repeatedly exhausted you? Kind of like this, the other one, almost the same thing, right?
Mhm.
Then
Mhm.
the last one's an action step. Energizing relationship to go on the renew list. Neutral ones may need in the intention and conversation, and consistently draining ones may move to reduce access or allow to expire with boundaries. This is
Right.
nice and interesting.
Yeah, and those the source was potentiality.com. That was actually a
Oh,
website.
see, that's where it was. Okay.
So, yeah, thepotentiality.com. Um,
This is more like a friendship one here.
it is.
Emotional
But I
energy.
mean, it's relevant. Like you said, we've had creative differences with other creators, in love. But, sometimes, hey, you gotta, move on creatively. So,
Man, I
yeah.
wish I wish I had this type of thing, Jen. When I was dating, I would probably have used it. 0 to 1 scale.
Yeah,
But
I
there
mean,
was some women, you look at the patterns, 3 to 5 interactions. Man, it doesn't click. You try anything, it's not clicking. So I mean, hey, if she doesn't laugh when you crack a joke, a stupid joke, nah, cut it off. Cut it off.
right. I mean, it's interesting. I think the lady made a TikTok about being like on a first date with a guy, and I think they had just got to appetizers or whatever, and because the conversation was kind of shifting in a way, like I think maybe she was like more successfully and financially sound than he was, based on the conversation. He's, oh, I gotta, go to the men's room, and then, time goes on, and the apparently he told the waitress to tell her that something came up, emergency, and he had to leave. Obviously there was no emergency, and then he intentionally left, to leave her sitting there. And yeah, it's pretty bad.
So who had the upper hand, him or her?
He did, because he left her high and dry with the appetizers.
Did
And
he
he didn't
really
even
take
have the guts to just face her, like, hey, thank you for coming out, but I'm gonna go ahead and leave. Leave. At least let me take care of the soda I got you, or something like that. But I think people don't want the confrontation, and they just want to roll out of the back door or sneak out the front door when you're not looking. And
How did he manage that?
apparently it happens all the time, because girls post videos like this all the time, and you
Oh,
see
guys
it.
bailing
So
out.
yeah, people leaving. I mean, you always hear the horror stories of like people running a bill up, but and we're not even talking about running a bill up. We're just talking about, just you ordered your soda, or you ordered your salad or whatever, and they just determine that, this ain't for me.
You
And
know, but
sometimes,
no, 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 go ahead, go ahead. I was going to tell you something. Go ahead.
yeah.
No, 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 no. Go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I was just gonna say, I mean, maybe. in some spaces maybe you don't want to make it to when the main course comes, but I feel like that you should have the guts to look the person in the eye and make up whatever excuse. If you're gonna lie, fine, come up with a story, fine, but look me in my eye and tell me. Don't have the waitress. I think that's pretty lame.
The only problem about that is maybe, but when they were talking, and maybe he assumed that the person, this is just an assumption, that the person wasn't the type that you'd come back and tell them like, hey, you know what, I don't think that we're a match. Maybe
Oh, like she would
she
have
may
went
have,
off.
she may have gone off on you and maybe created an embarrassment, and maybe you're known
Mhm.
over there. You could be a public figure, so we
Yeah,
don't know what's going on.
that's
Uh,
true.
Hey, there's some relationships you can tell right from the get go, especially when you just sit down and start the first conversation,
Hmm.
and you're like, okay, throw in the first word, see what they say. I mean, you don't have to be, it's nothing to be, don't not raunchy. I'm not talking about raunchy conversations, just regular conversations, about the sky,
Right.
whatever, to get the mood of things, ask them. And there are people who, they may be nice people, but the personality, when you're talking to them, like when you meet them, have the personality, they may not
Hmm.
even have personality. But like you said, now you give them at least 3 to 5 interactions. Hey, but some of them,
Right.
that first one, I
I mean, and like this can be, just any interpersonal dealings. Like I can remember being on some job interviews where, I may have said something and like it just went left after that. You know what I mean? So, and it was almost like being on a bad date. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I think I remember one time there was this person, uh, I was on the phone with. It was first blind date, and I called them, and then they said, let's see what we're gonna do with this. And she cursed. She was a teacher, I remember. And she cursed, let's do this ish. That's it. Didn't go to the 3 to 5
Oh
interactions. That was
my
one
God.
interaction was good enough for me. I was like, you know
You
what?
were done?
Like a you can curse like a sailor like this even from the get go, and you don't even know me. Oh man, no, I know we're not familiar like that, but please, right off the bat,
Really? Okay.
yeah. So I had to let that one go. It was too emotionally. I tell people I get nervous when people start cursing right next to me, and that one is always. It
Mm.
just it just does not sit well with me.
Mhm.
I either move away, or I may tell you something. If it's somewhere I can move away, I'll move away. But if I don't have to tell you something, but I'll show you. If you're having a conversation with me, oh, that's when I just check out. You just
Mhm.
in my head go like, okay.
When you start cursing, then it's really because I know I think I've witnessed that, and I was like, "What?" Yeah. So.
So yeah, for me, that's how I judge a human. Not I judge a human being, but that's how I look at it in terms of a personality. I mean, people have great personalities, but it's just
Mhm.
that's one of the, we call it, the what's that, the bare minimum I would ask of a person. So if I went on a date and the person's like cursing out like a sailor and everything, I'll be like, "Golly." If I at first I'll just be quiet. I know this one is going over, this is going in a rabbit hole, but me, I just look at it, curse one, I'm just counting them. And after that, if you're gonna hit that Eddie Murphy thing on Beverly Hills Cop 1, 250, hey, if you get even close to that, oh no, it's not getting anywhere. Let's
Okay.
So we don't know. Like I said, personality wise, people. So that date, the guy left them. I don't know, but I think as a gentleman, you should be nice enough. If they're not a fit, just finish the date and mail and just say, hey, um, bye. You,
Right.
it's just the hard question is, when will I see you again?
I don't think people even say that. I think they just.
They do. Oh wait, I haven't done those dates in a long time, but
I
back then,
mean, look, we are not single people,
yeah.
so
So right now,
yeah.
easily ask the best people to ask would be the Gen Zs, because maybe if you talk to a
Mm,
Gen Z, they have a different way of dating. Like the
right.
location sharing, they date with location sharing. So yeah,
But I mean, being in a date is not the only time you need to like necessarily curb a person. So you need, I think everyone needs to be able to, communicate. I'm not comfortable with this creative relationship or a what working relationship, or I think we need to. That's why the frameworks are interesting. I think we'll put a pin in the second one. Um,
It is really nice. Yeah, it has it can go many ways.
yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. It can be explored. Like right now, I just, when I look at it, it has so many, it's personal relationships. It's how you deal with businesses. It
Mhm,
could even go to, but now it's not a job interview, because this one, like a job interview, a contract, because a contract you'll
mhm.
have to talk to the person again if it's a renewable contract.
Right.
Uh, but like a job interview, that would be different though. Yeah. Okay. Now, Jen, what about the last one you were talking about, the one for okay.
Okay, so you want to okay, briefly we'll touch on that one. The last one was repres repres yeah.
No, reciprocate now, reciprocity and alignment. Yeah, I got it now.
Oh god. You're gonna make me say that. I think it's reciprocity
Yeah,
actually. Okay. Reciprocity.
because you're gonna say reciprocate
Recipro
and then reciprocity.
correct, but
Yeah.
reciprocity. Reciprocity. Hello. Okay, so you're trying to determine that the relationship is mutual, not one-sided. Is there reciprocity? Am I always the one reaching out? Am I the only one reaching out and apologizing or trying to fix the situation? Or do they initiate also? Do they listen? Do they show up for me? And then the alignment. Do our values and life directions still line up for this connection to feel healthy, or are we constantly clashing over basics like respect, honesty, safety? Next moves, if the reciprocity and alignment are present, consider renewing and perhaps deepening. If not, consider redefining the relationship, a looser circle, clearer boundaries, or a full expiration. So, do we renew or do we expire or let it expire? So,
Uh, what this one I think will probably fall with the families,
mhm,
like your cousins and aunties and what have you. I think this is a very good one for looking at and assessing, because
mhm,
yeah, it's always the persons who reach out to you and apologize, try to fix stuff that you'd want to associate with. One thing I will always tell people, and this goes throughout the whole entirety, the uncles and aunts that I respect, not well, I respect more than
mhm,
others, are the ones that showed up.
mhm,
They didn't have to come with gifts or presents or anything. They would just come there and sit with me and have a conversation with me. I see them, they see me, and they just say hi and ask me how school was, give me a few tidbits here and there. We may not have an adult conversation, or may not have this intellectual conversation, but meet me at where I am, talk to
mhm,
me, even if it's just for 5 minutes, but you are constant. Every other day, or even if it's once a month, you show up to my home
mhm,
and come visit me or visit my parents. Those are the ones who you will find that in the later years you are always going to be around or more concerned with, because you have a long history. Because you've seen me in my worst, you've seen me in my best, you've seen me as I grew up, you've seen the changes that I've had, you've seen me get girlfriends, you've seen me marrying, you've seen me do all that, but I've been consistent. Maybe at that time when I grow older, things change. But see, in your younger years, as you see these people, and especially when they're young, this is, and I think
mhm,
everybody who is in the younger generation, try this and you will see it happens. Don't show up with gifts, just
mhm,
time. Time is the most important thing. Just sit there, even if it's 20 minutes, 10 minutes, but you see the person. Even if it's going for games, like, say, for example, they have a football game or something,
mhm.
just show up there and say, hey, I came for your game. These kids remember. They'll be like, my
For sure.
uncle. always showed up for my games, even though he stayed for only 10 minutes or he showed up for 30 minutes. He waved to me at the stands and told me he was there and left. You know, that's it.
Right.
This on the third one, I think we're on to something. When you look
Mhm.
at it in terms of families and relationships, that would be a great thing to look into.
Absolutely, I agree. Looks like we have a comment.
Ed, again, I appreciate your comments. Ed, thank you for always hitting us up and being interactive. Guys, if you want to join us, you can always join us on our link. We have a shareable link where we chat back and forth. You bring in a conversation, we talk about it, and, uh, give us your thoughts. And we'd like to hear it. And Ed says here, in relationships, the most vital that there is it's most vital that there is an alignment and both understand the assignment. Great. Yes,
Mhm.
I believe that. And you say again, this is a great conversation. Thanks. Well, Ed, look, we do appreciate you showing up and supporting us all the time. Thank you for even including us in this conversation and giving us some tidbits there. Grateful all the time.
Absolutely. For sure.
So, as we wrap up, what are your thoughts about today's episode?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that definitely got the wheels turning, when I was thinking about these last few topics that we'll get into. Looking forward to next week. We'll have a guest. I guess it'll be like last guest of the year. And that'll be on a different night. So please catch us Monday on the 15th for our guests. And that is already posted. So you can check that out on the bookmarks um, on YouTube for Woke by Accident. The audio episode will be coming soon. But yeah, I mean, as we, prepare for the new year, things everybody, wants to sign up for the gym and, act like they're ready to lose weight and all that. But now I'm out like trying to prepare for that. I don't want to just be that new year, was it resolutions that people, give up in a week, but like literally like seriously thinking about what I want to do differently, what I'm doing that's not working, that I'm not happy with, and that what I want to be happy with and do for the new year. So,
I think, yeah, you're right. And guys, the episode is going to be on a Monday, so don't be calling me on Monday night. I know football sometimes is going on, and people want to tell me what's going on. Thank you, but on that particular day, we have a guest, and this guest has you'll find out. There's great topics out there, but going back to the topic at hand, I'm here's the interesting thing. I'm really curious to see how this new gym that I've joined.
mhm.
It's purple. It has a purple logo, like this purple, and
Okay.
you already know what it is. I don't have to tell you which one it is. You know. So the gym, I joined it in April. So I want to see how it is in the beginning of the year, because it'll be a time it gets packed, but I've not been in it from the beginning of the year. I started in April, so it'll be interesting to see how it is.
But
Start.
you've been pretty consistent, like going every morning, right?
Yeah, always Monday through
Mhm.
Friday. I used to do all week, but then I think it changed when refereeing season comes. I'll run the whole day, so I might as well just swap that and just do the
Mhm.
right round. And I think Ed has something. Kindly share one word that describes 2025, how 2025 has been for you. Oh man, Ed, that's a tough one. For me, I'll go first, right? Oh, ladies first. Jen, you go.
No, go ahead. You already had it on the tip of your tongue.
2025 was a great year. Um, I think when if you go back to our episode and check what I'm thankful for, I think that said a lot about the year. I'm thankful for a lot of things. This year has been, yes, it has been challenging, but I made it through. And I also give shout outs to Jen for being part of the force behind making me make it through this year. And yeah, And actually, that particular segment had the shorts had the most reviews I've had. I think it had over 2,000 um, reviews on it
Mhm.
because of I guess what I had said. But yeah, that's what one word will be. Let me put it in one word: awesome.
You talked about when you said what you were grateful for.
Yes. Mhm.
Oh, but
Awesome.
bump. Yeah, I mean, definitely for me, 2020, my necklaces, was that a better year than 2023 for sure. For many obvious reasons, and yeah, so I feel like it's a kind of a restoring. As you know, I found this little um I don't know, what was it, like a template on CapCut. I upgraded to the pro plan
Oh,
on
you did.
Cap. Yeah, I was trying to do these like holiday themes, and all the good ones were on pro. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just do it for like 2 months, and then I'll get rid of it. So, but one of them had a little prompt that said, "This part of my life is called getting ish done or whatever." I think that's from a movie, and I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm getting ish done." You know what I mean? Like restorement, like grief was prior. You know what I mean? And travel. I think with traveling, 'cause I think that same year that I lost my mom, I got went on the trip with my sister, and the Barbie convention in California, and then we went to Memphis with the Girl Scouts. So it was just so I'm over. I feel like I'm over that hump of like the grief, and it's just like restoring. Okay, what do I want to do? Like
Mhm.
no one's here to bail you out. You're not a
Mhm.
baby anymore. You know what I mean? Mama gone, daddy gone. You know what I mean? What you gonna do? And it's just kind of that getting ish done.
Okay, sum it up
And
in one word because Ed said one word.
I would have said getting ish done.
Oh,
I'll say restore. I'll just say
restore.
restorement. Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
that's nice. Oh, you restore
Oh,
yourself to your settings, the normal settings.
and see, I don't think it's normal. I see it's like a new normal. You know what I mean? It's just like a reno. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm getting stuff done, and I just
I like
feel
that.
like restored as a person. So yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Maybe we should put this on our chat and ask people what they say. Put this as a question for on our.
Well, and we do have a year end episode. We've
Right.
moved it week of Christmas up to what we're gonna do that Tuesday instead.
I don't know, but we're gonna do it. I think it's a Tuesday. That week of Christmas, the Tuesday.
And then that'll be the last one for the year.
Yeah, we'll take a 1 week break, a 2 week break.
Okay.
I'm running on fumes right now. I think
I'm gonna crank these last two episodes out.
not
Um
even the episodes. I mean, the episodes are fine. It's just
yeah.
life is life.
I know you got a lot of stuff on the look. I got goals, with this. Yeah, I get it. I get it. But no, this is good.
All right. Shout outs to Ubuntu. We did a game night the other weekend.
Mhm.
Not Ubuntu, the African think tank. They did
Yes.
a volunteer appreciation day, and we had a great time that last weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this week I have a graduation party. The next weekend, oh, and a tea party. The next weekend, I think I have. We're supposed to do a meetup of our local group, and that'll
Hmm.
be it for the year. I got some nice Father Christmas pictures. Santa Claus. I don't know why I call him Father Christmas. But anyway, Jen, we gotta end this show. It's been nice. I mean, I love
Yeah,
this day, this with this conversation, and thank you guys for showing up on TikTok. I really appreciate you guys, and on YouTube, Clubhouse, Facebook.
absolutely. We appreciate you guys coming in, and we will say that we thank you for joining us, and we hope that today's conversation has inspired and enlightened you. If you found the episode meaningful, consider sharing it with friends, family, Our collective awareness and advocacy play a crucial role in creating positive change. We invite you to stay tuned for more engaging content, and we look forward to continuing these important conversations in the future. So, with that, everyone, enjoy this holiday time, and please come back and see us.
Please do.
And yeah, and take care.
All right. Bye, guys.